Okay. You go.
Wow, big banner all of a sudden there. I got a hint of the navigation of what was going to go on before there, but you're making sure I don't miss this coupon. Thank you very much. But maybe I kind of wonder a little bit more about you. Maybe I'd like to have a cup of coffee first before you entice me quite that aggressively. Something smaller and more floaty might be a little less invasive. I do like the search. For some reason in seat clamp designs, it seems like the search just ends up upper right. And I like the fact that it's there. It wasn't there on Cedar Store, and I kind of wonder if you were to move that over with Cedar Store, if you would get a greater lift on search utilization. Housekeeping up here in small print. Clear merchandising zones. I'm not really sure why to buy from you and not someone else, but that's a value proposition, not a navigation. Although you get big banners, I can tell you that. One of the things, call to actions, often you've got to choose this package or build your own. You may be mixing things a little bit there. I mean, you kind of want to have a real clear call to action and sometimes simplify things. Shoppers are generally impatient, as we all know. Uh-oh. I hit it. Got project wizards and things where you can create. It's great.
One thing I would say about it is the interface, seems very professional. It kind of echoes sort of software application interface design as well, or sort of iTunes interface. A little odd that you're kind of swapping that right-hand navigation that occurs on the home page for what is a prevailingly left-hand nav.
Yeah.
But a lot of things I really love, super active navigation destinations on mouse over. So, Matt is just sort of checking out the site, he's moving his mouse around, and everything that he mouses over becomes not just a slightly different color, but it becomes an orange, button, or the green button turns orange. Super intuitive way to tell people what's active and that it will take them somewhere. The other feeling that I had, let's see if we go navigate here. I thought that the hierarchy between elements here from a navigation perspective and design, you've really boiled down your message to very few words, enabling you to make your biggest calls to action very, very large. So, it reminds me a little bit of Netflix, the way they do their design. Navigation is always a lot clearer when you don't have a lot of other junk competing with it. And, this site is getting things said with a minimum of words, and therefore letting its navigation choices be very visually large.
One of the things I do like also that a lot of e-retailers haven't picked up on yet is having internal text links at the footer to be able to help anchor some link text to help point search engine pages, as well as people looking for those sorts of things. Making it easier for people to find the specific phrases that are there. Spiders easier to find as well. I wonder about, I don't have a real sense of what the value of getting on your email list is. I just get to join. If there's a value proposition to the email list, I would recommend trying to have a call out on that, seeing if you can increase adoption. As well as anytime I see a quantity captured that's totally blank in the beginning, I wonder if with that audience testing the default minimum order might be wisdom to help facilitate that on through, because typically you'll have somebody click the order, click back, you may have some kind of back and forth kind of behavior. If you have a minimum order, set it at least the minimum, and then assume that's going to be what goes to the cart unless they change it perhaps.
Navigationally too, keeping a limited color palette. They've got a real slate gray background. Most of the text is dropout white on gray or black on white. For legibility in navigation and in general, dropout is less legible than black on white. I think that there are a lot of stylish elements of doing it this way that may be worth the trade-off, but if you're working drop out white on black, you better work larger so it's more legible. I also like, because you got that limited color palette, the green and the yellow become the real contrasting elements. I think it's pretty key for all of us to boil down our color palette to saying, okay, what color are all my buttons going to be? I can't tell you how many times this week so far I've seen add to cart buttons be orange on a product page and then, green on a category page, and the checkout starts out red and becomes green, and it just can't, you just need to, and I know I've said this example a million times this week, but like the check-in kiosk at the airport, always use the same green button in the lower right-hand corner, same position every time for that forward movement, and then, the left hand is gray, and that is, yeah, I got to check bags, or yeah, I want to change my seat. So there's, in the e-commerce analogy, it's continue is green, and go back and edit is gray.
Okay, let's move on to the next site.